Hello, everyone. A very warm good evening to one and all present here. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry due to a technical glitch. We couldn't start in time. So I know time management is very important, sir. We don't take much time in our previous webinars. This is the first time this is happening. So today we are going to talk about. I'll not take much time to start. Uh, Today we will going to talk about thesis writing. Okay, so this is the topic we're going to talk about, and I'm sure that many of you who are either an academician, what I mean is either you are teaching or you are a research scholar or you are in a process of guiding your students, supervisor. So this webinar is basically multifaceted and it is going to benefit all of you. All right. So when we talk about that ways, this is going to help multiple audience. Before I take on to the main content, let me help you with a brief introduction about the company. We are a research graduate and we are the PhD and master's consulting company. When it comes to consulting company, what I meant to say that we are there to help you in each and every kind of research. Just a second, just a second. There is a, because I'm based in Dubai, so there is an alert from the government since there is heavy rain. I'm so sorry for that. So we have received a alert from the government. So coming back to the introduction of research graduate, we help you with every kind of your research query, wherein we help you with topic selection, we help you with proposal writing, your statistical analysis. Even if you have already prepared with your document, proofreading is required, anything which you help need support with, you can trust on us. Now moving on, if you want to get in touch with us, you can contact us on the given email id or the number you are seeing on the screen, and the website is also given for your reference. When it comes to webinar structure, there will be first a presentation, all right, then we'll be progressing with the question and answer, and then we'll be giving you the ppts, recording, everything will be given. So please don't worry about that the video quality is not good, and if there is any such technical glitch, in case your video quality is not good, please improve your youtube video quality. All right, so please don't panic about anything. Recording will be there with you. Please listen to me. Recording will be there with you, ppts will be there with you. In case ppts are not visible to you during the session, it will be there in your email id register. Okay, all right, now let's start. First thing is, let me just firstly share the screen with all of you. All right, just a second. Yeah. So, firstly, we'll be talking about what is a thesis. So, when we talk about what is a thesis, I'm sure that all of you must be having an idea about what is a thesis. Now, when we talk about what is a thesis, majority of you understand it as an as a document which we need to submit by the end of PhD, right? This is what we have an idea. Agreed? All of us understand thesis as a document which we need to submit as an mandatory requirement which we need to submit by the end of our PhD or for the MPhil. Okay. Now, here I would like to give a detailed explanation on what is a thesis. So, because thesis is not only the requirement which you need to do only in the course requirement for the PhD, but also for the MPhil, but also for other courses as well. This is I'm adding for the academicians. Why? Because they need to guide their students whom they are teaching at master's and bachelor's level. Okay, all right. So basically a thesis is that document which is long piece of academic writing, and you take some time to write it, and that sometime, what I meant to say is probably more than a semester. When you are talking at master's or bachelor's level, you probably write that document by the end of your fourth semester. When you are talking about at MPhil or PhD level or doctorate level, you are taking couple of years to write that document. Okay, all right. So as we all know that this is something which you all know that this is a degree requirement. Agreed? Okay. Basically, when we talk about the structure of our thesis, now here the structure of the thesis is not something which is final or probably fixed for everyone. No, it is not fixed for everyone. It depends upon which field you are in. Okay, field as in you are from political science, you are from history, you are from management. So it depends upon your discipline. Okay, then it depends upon your topic and your approach. So your structure of your thesis is primarily depending upon that what is your discipline, what is your topic, and what is your theoretical approach. Clearly. Okay. So point is that no thesis can be of same structure. I'm not saying that every single thesis of different structure. There are similarities in thesis. However, I am saying at the same time, what I'm saying is that every thesis mandatorily would be of same structure is not there. Okay. Then, second thing is that structure of your thesis also depends upon your university requirement. Okay. What it will be your structure of the thesis would be, that depends upon what will be your university requirement is. Okay, all right. Then now the content of a thesis which I'm going to tell you, this is something which is of a common structure. Now this can be, this probably some of the content can be there in some of the university format, cannot be in some of the university format. However, these are some common ones. That's what I'm going to tell you. That's what I'm telling you, that these content are some of the common content. Okay, these content are some of the common content. And one thing I'm going to tell you, that I am not in this webinar, I am not focusing on any particular subject or any particular discipline. I am not focusing on that. I am telling you, all of you, a general approach. So as per your discipline, as per your university requirement, you can take out the benefits. Okay, and as requested, please concentrate on the explanation, and then the respective PPTs and the recorded videos will be sent to you. So coming back to the content of the thesis. Now the content of the thesis primarily depends upon, as I told you, what is your topic, what is your nature of area discipline, and your university requirement. University requirement plays a very important role, and please make sure that you always follow them. Okay, so and Maybe some or the other of the content may go up and down. That also I'm telling you. However, I'm just saying that what all are the common contents are there. So your title page is there, your name, affiliation, which university are there, and title, name, everything is there. Okay. Your table of contents are there. Please make sure that whatever page number you are mentioning against each chapter, against each heading and subheading, your heading in the main content is on the same chapter. Why I'm saying you so? Reason being, let's say your thesis comes for me, for example, comes to me for the review, for example. Okay. These days, what do is you put a hyperlink on the table of content on the page number and you click that page and I directly get directed to that page. Now, in the table of content, the review of literature is mentioned on page number 20. When I'm clicking on that page, there is no review of literature on page number 20. So, what I have to do is I need to scroll up and down. Where is review of literature? So please make sure that table of content is rightly marked. Okay? There should be no mismatching in the table of content. It should be carefully. And this mistake happens because this table of content we do it at last. We mark the page number at last. So please make sure, all of you scholars, this mistake we do it often. And appendices also, your questionnaire, your interview questions, whatever you need to put it at last, put them carefully. Okay, all the list of tables and figure, please don't miss any. What happens sometimes, okay, there is an analysis, correlation analysis, which is mentioned in research methodology chapter, but I can't find it in table of content. You don't know what your reviewer is looking for. So each and every page in your thesis counts. Okay. Then your abstract. So when you talk about your abstract, now basically I'll take each and everything in detail also. When you talk about your abstract, it's usually around 300 words. Now again, here again I'm saying it depends upon university requirements. It may exceed also up to 500 words. Again, up to 500 words depends upon the university requirements. Okay. Now, if 500 words or if 300 words, the content of the abstract says that it is talking about the brief summary of your thesis. Okay. What is the thesis is about? So if I am not going your entire thesis and I'm just going through your abstract, I'm getting an idea. Yes, number of pages are important in preparing a thesis. Acknowledgement is like you are acknowledging your guide, any funding body who has funded your project. You want to acknowledge your family, your spouse, your kids, anybody you want to give your credit to, anybody, you can do so. Then comes your introduction. Very important word. This chapter basically outlines the key elements of the argument which you want to give to your audience. Okay. Now, many a times you want to include background of your study within the introduction, or you want to separate background as a subheading within the chapter of introduction but as a subheading. Okay. Now this again depends upon the kind of structure your university has given to you. Does it says that background of the study will come under the introduction chapter as a part of it, or it says that background of the study will come in introduction chapter but as a separate subheading? That depends. Okay. All right. Then coming to the next section, that is substantive chapters, your literature review, your research methodology, your analysis, then your respective chapters. Then comes your discussion. So basically, discussion chapter is whatever your results are. Like I say, you have conducted your Dublin Watson test, value is 1.8, 1.87. Now, what should I understand by 1.87? And you have said that 1.87 value is there. Now, in relation to your topic, that value, how will you discuss that value? And how me as a general reader should understand that discussion, and that discussion should relate to the introduction, what you have said in introduction. Now, taking a quick question, introduction and background, basically it may written separately, as I told you already. Please listen to me carefully. I have already said, depends upon your university structure and your guide. They may tell you to amalgamate them, and they may tell you to write in the background is a part of introduction chapter only, but background may come as a separate subheading also. Background is what is the nature of your study explained in the previous literature. Okay, that is background. All right, then comes your conclusion and suggestion for future work, that how will you conclude your entire work, what you have done, and what are the suggestions you will give but you have not been able to do, what you will give to the future researchers, your references and appendices. Now here, for appendices, your guide is plays a very important role. In fact, in entire thesis, your guide will play an important role. For appendices especially, what is to be added, your questionnaire, your coding, your what all studies would be added here, your guide will tell you that what is to be added and what not to be added. Okay. Okay, now I am now from here on taking each chapter separately of the thesis. All right. Now, first is introduction. Before taking on the slides, please don't worry, since the slide is appearing blank because I have not moved on to the content. I'm just giving you the idea. Okay. Yes, I'll be taking the content of the thesis one by one. First chapter is introduction. Now, what is introduction basically? Introduction gives you the idea, you as in the reviewer, the reader. Basically, you are not writing the thesis for yourself. Your thesis will be used by others. Your thesis will be used by others. They will read it. So, you need to give them an idea that what is you are going to talk about, what argument you want to say, what you want to express, what is your thesis is about, that you will express in introduction. In this introduction, background also is included. Again, I'm repeating, background may be added as a separate subheading, may not be added as a separate subheading. Depends upon university uh, guidelines. And please get in touch with your supervisor for the same. Okay? All right. Let's move on. So basically, when you talk about introduction chapter, this is a opening section. Okay, when you are letting your reader to read about your thesis. Okay, in your background section specifically, I'm telling you, please pay attention here. You explain the context of the problem, what has happened in relation to what is going on, what has happened, since we are saying background, what has happened in the past in relation to what is going on. Okay, so this is what you are going to talk about in your background. All right. Okay, so this is the part of your introduction chapter. In this introduction only, you will explain, or rather I would say that you will give a hint of your research gap also. Now, when I say research gap, basically a research problem, that what is the area on which your thesis is going to work on? Okay, what is the area on your thesis is going to work on? You are going to work on. So the study is going to focus on, the study is going to talk about. So here you are just going to give a hint about, the study is just going to the study is going to focus on. Here language plays a very important role. Okay, your research aims and objectives. Okay, what your study is going to achieve. Now here you will say that the research aim or objective and questions you are going to discuss in research methodology also, right? Yes. However, here as I said, your language plays a very important role. So the study investigates, the study focus, this kind of language you will achieve here. All right. Okay. Then moving on further to the introduction chapter, here also you will say that why your study is important. Why the study is important, because why a reader as me should be interested in your study, why as a reviewer should be should be worth spending time in your study. Okay, so this is important to mention in the significance of the study, in the significant portion which you will mention in the introduction. Okay, however, this is also being elaborated in the later stages of your thesis. Okay, then you also talk about limitation. Definitely no thesis is finished without limitation, you will just acknowledge limited part of it. Then structure, how you were able to achieve that entire thesis. So in a nutshell, what you have done in your thesis, you have given an entire idea to your viewer, to your reviewer, to your reader, that this is what you can expect in my he or she has not gone to the further chapters, but he has got an idea of what he can expect. आपने उसको ट्रेलर दिखा दिया मूवी का. हम मूवी देखने जाते हैं ना, ऑल दोस हु कैन अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, हम मूवी देखने जाते हैं तो वी गेट एन आइडिया that what will be the movie is about from the trailer only. So this introduction is that trailer. How impressive you can make the trailer, that will grab the attention of your audience. Wise choice of words, right kind of words. Let me tell you one more thing. All those who are writing, all those who are in a process of writing their thesis, you will quite often come across with a problem that there is high repetition, high repetition, same thing repeating again and again and again and again. This is going to happen. This happens. Why this happens? Reason being is because you are going to work on a topic which is one, and you are going to investigate on that only, and you are going to write on that particular one topic on something close to 200 pages, right? So repetition is bound to happen, but there is the creativity of a researcher comes into play. So right from chapter 1, you need to wisely choose the right kind of research terminologies. Please pay attention to that. All right. Okay. So let's move on to the next chapter of your thesis, review of literature. Now, I'll dissect this term. Okay. I'll dissect this term. I'll take this very interesting question before I move to review of literature. Ma'am, is there any software or app to get help to write introduction? Bit impressive. What answer should I give actually? See, basically, what happened is every topic is unique. You need to have unique topic. You have unique topic. You are bound to choose a unique topic in order to avoid repetition from the other prevailing topic, right? So softwares can help you to choose the right kind of vocabulary, right? There are tools available. There are, I don't know much about the softwares available or not, which can shape your introduction. However, I can assure you that research graduate can help you to improvise your introduction. That's what I can assure you. All right. Coming back to review of literature, let me dissect review of literature basically. See, review of literature. So, literature is one word, itself is a one word. What does it mean? Literature means any material which is in published form related to your topic, documented form related to your topic. That is literature. Okay? Any material which is in documented published form, it's called literature. Okay? Now, this can be this can be in the form of books, in the form of journals, in the form of articles, Forbes article, Harvard Business Review article, Bloomberg articles. It can be in the form of literature, in the form of cases, newspaper articles, in the form of videos, authentic videos, but definitely in the not in the form of Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is not at all a source of review of literature, please. Okay, so this is literature. Now, when it becomes review of literature, it becomes review of literature when you read that available material and interpret it into your language and relate it with your topic and explain it in your thesis. Correct? Again, I'm repeating it. When you are reading that literature, understanding it, interpreting it in your language, and relating it in your topic, relating it with your topic, okay, and then writing it for your thesis purpose, that is review of literature. That is reviewing the existing literature. Okay, here cut copy paste is not allowed. Directly copying the content is not allowed except the definitions and the quotes said by somebody. You can't change the definitions, you can't change the quotes. Okay? All right. Now let me start the slide for this. So, review of literature, I hope all of you understand. Any scholarly documented material. Now, why review of literature is available? Why we do review of literature in our thesis? What is the point of doing that? See, all the previous authors have done this. They have written this, what do you call as this previously work done. What is the need of us doing it? The point of us doing is that we get to know that what level and what kind of work has already been done which we need not to do, so that in order to avoid the repetition. Okay, in order to avoid the repetition, we review the literature so as to see that what is the development has happened in our topic, so that we get to know the gap, that what area are still need to be worked upon. So if I see that, these days entrepreneurship is very much talked about topic. Everybody is talking about entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs, and so on. Fine enough. How many of them are talking about young entrepreneurs, kids entrepreneurs? So this is the area I think in all the literature I have read, very few. I'm not saying that none of them have talked about. Gap is nothing. Gap is not only that only the topic which have never been worked upon. You can also choose that limited work is done. So none, very few have talked about kids entrepreneur or young entrepreneurs. Let's talk about that. So that is a research gap. How will you get to know the research gap? When you do the review of literature. Okay. So review of literature helps you to come out with a framework which you do after doing literature review. Okay. So this literature is your secondary data, which is into published form. When you talk about primary data, the data which you collect yourself, which the researcher collects him or herself, that is primary data. Okay, which you collect yourself, that is primary data. The data which is already in published form, that is secondary data. So this way review of literature is helpful to help you with the literature gap. Further on, the point comes that how actually the literature review should be aligned. Introduction section, I mean, obviously, wherein you will define the definitions, if any concept needs to be explained, if any idea needs to be explained, if the main idea needs to be given, the defined definition needs to be given, everything that needs to be explained. Then the body section, in which major theories, major models, major updates needs to be explained when it comes to literature. Okay. The conclusion section. The conclusion section is where you will conclude the entire literature. All right. The entire literature, when it comes to, you need to conclude what the major theories have said, what the major authors have said. This will come into your conclusion. All right. Okay. Now, when it comes to arranging your literature, so generally, what comes is that how to organize this chapter. This is definitely a chapter. Review of literature or literature review is a chapter. And let me tell you, this particular chapter gives you a maximum scope of enhancing your word count. This is the chapter where you can enhance your word count. Yes. So when it comes to organizing your literature review, how you can do that? Firstly is chronological, according to the date that which, but so either you can do that the latest researches first, then come older, then older, then older, then older. Then comes your thematic, grouped by theme. That first you will talk about some common research, some researches which have talked about one particular theme. Then you will talk about other researches which have talked about one particular theme. So let's say from around one particular, so let's say you discussed about 10 researches which discussed about X variable. Then you talked about 10 more researches who talked about Y variables. So, thematic, similarly discussed patterns. All right. Then methodological, wherein the researches are discussed as per the methodology, research methodology. Okay. All right. So basically, your research gap identified by the literature review basically helps you, or that is that idea on which your entire research is sustained, on which you do your entire research. Okay, then comes your next chapter. This is primarily one of the most talked about chapter, rather one of the most difficult, I would not say, or I would not say that confusing. Also, I would not say confusing. Um, Time consuming be also, I would not say, because literature review takes massive time. But yes, I would say that scholars get entangled in this chapter. And somebody say that literature review, at least 10 to 12 years it should be like that. It should be at least 10 to 12 years. Okay, however, I would like to add one more thing, that don't stuck only to 10 to 12 years, because for all the topics, not necessarily you can find your literature for 10 to 12 years. Especially if you are taking a topic in which you are talking about an evolution, in which you need to take some models or theories which are dated back older than 12 years. And so don't think that I can't take those important theories and models since they are dated back 12 years. You can take that. If they are important for your thesis, you may take that. Okay, however, preferable is 10 to 12 years to take. However, depends upon your nature of topic also, and if there are some major important theory and models which are dated back 10 to 12 years, you need to take that. Please do so. All right, now coming to the next chapter of the theory of the thesis, that is research methodology. Okay, again, see, I'm saying nature of the topic plays a very important role. Okay, so next chapter is research methodology. Now, understand what is research methodology. Your methodology is that plan. Methodology is that plan which basically decides that how you have carried on your research. Okay, so let's understand like this. Let's say you are constructing a house. Everybody of us have seen construction of house, right? So we hire an architect. If not necessarily, assume, let's say we hire an architect. So that architect, what does he do? He chalk out a plan. So he chalk out a plan and he say that the construction will go like this, or this room will be here, or that room will be here, or dining room will be here, or study room will be here, or a master bedroom will be here, and so, right? So this is a plan according to which the construction will take place. So that plan is research methodology, according to which your thesis will be carried on. Okay, all right. Now, research methods are those tools which actually are the helpers, or basically the helping tools to take out those or carrying out that construction. Basically, we need those certain tools, no, to carry out the construction. We need certain machinery or certain tools to carry out the construction. Similarly, the research methods are those tools to carry out the construction. So in this chapter, we basically defines that methodology, that entire pathway. How will we go? Now here I would like to give a suggestion, that refer to Saunders research onion. Okay, so refer to Saunders research onion when you are designing your research methodology chapter. That research onion actually helps a lot to all the researchers. It has all, data collection technique, types of research design, longitudinal, cross sectional, every detail of research methodology chapter which you should know, in which your chapter of research methodology should have: qualitative, quantitative, mixed method. Now point here is that your research methodology chapter should not only talk about that I am adopting mixed method. It's not only about that. It's about why. Why mixed method? It's also not about that you are saying that I'm taking mixed method because this. I am not taking qualitative, I'm not taking no, no, no. Don't go into qualitative, quantitative if you are taking mixed method. Don't mention about that. It's okay. If you not talk about that, it's okay, fine. No problem. But if you're saying mixed method, then justify that mixed method. If you're talking about correlation to correlation test to analyze your data, justify that why. Whatever choice of research technique you are making for your research methodology, that should be properly explained and justified. Your research questions, firstly, your research problem, your research objectives, your research aim should be properly explained. Saunders' research onion basically describes the different research decisions a researcher should make while drafting or developing a research methodology. Okay, it tells you about all, so it gives you all the option, you need to choose out of them. Okay, so all the choices you make, you need to justify, you need to align it, you need to see this is my objective. If your objective says that you need to correlate two variable, you need to show the relationship between two variable, you need to accordingly choose the analysis method. If your objective says that you need to show the impact of one variable on another variable, you need to accordingly choose the analysis method. Okay, so you need to justify your choice of research methods, why you chosen, and what impact is going to make in your study. Okay, not just any theoretical explanation would be justified. If in this also, if you are taking any concept from any source, please mention that source in this also. Not only for literature review the sources needs to be made, but also in the research methodology the sources need to be mentioned. Okay, all right, let's move on to results and discussions. So basically, once your analysis is done, once you have applied all the analysis techniques, tools and techniques, then comes your results and discussion. Okay, all right. Now, the point is that when you talk about results, what have you come across? Your pie charts, your histograms, your bar graphs, your different types of charts with the help of which you are presenting your data to the readers. Okay, different types of what do you call as results you are presenting. You must have seen different type of results in different research paper and different thesis, right? Okay, then comes your discussion. Discussion is basically what exactly your your results are actually interpreting, how your results are providing an insight to the readers. What is the contribution of your thesis? Okay, all right. Then comes your summary and conclusion. Now, point here is when you talk about summary, summary is basically what exactly the main purpose of your work, your thesis, overall gist of your work, everything which you have included in your thesis, everything, your main topic, your research methods, your subsections, your what do you call as results, your recommendations, your conclusions, everything what you say, everything what you include in your thesis is a part of your summary. Everything, right, is a part of your summary. Now, why summary is important? Now, me being a reviewer, I might not go to your entire thesis in one go. I can directly come to your summary, right? I can directly come to your summary and would try to understand what is the gist of your thesis. See, your every chapter has a responsibility. Your every chapter has a responsibility of portraying the insight to the reviewer, what what your reviewer can actually understand, what does your thesis can actually interpret by each word, each subheading, what it actually is stating. Okay. Now, here, summary basically also elaborates on your research methods. And there is a slight difference between abstract and this. Abstract does not elaborate much on your research methods, your recommendations, and does not highlight much on your results, right? However, because in abstract written is in the initial stages of your abstract takes place when your thesis is starting. So you can't write all the results, all the recommendations there, which takes place in the summary. Okay. Now, when it comes to conclusion, what it means. Now, basically, abstract, conclusion, all these terms basically are overlapping to each other. Now, as I already told you, that when you write a thesis, it is confusion. It is repetitive, right? It is overlapping. So, you need to prepare yourself that we need to use a wide variety of terminologies. For that, you need to read. Now, coming back to what we were talking about conclusions, conclusion basically focus on your findings. Okay, I will explain about variable and the independent and dependent variable. Just give me a minute. Conclusion focus on summarizing your findings. What the contribution of your thesis is in terms of your finding. What is the limitation and weakness of your thesis? Now, here, limitation you can include as a part of your conclusion also. However, as a subheading separately also. Again, that depends upon the university structure. Recommendation as a subheading also is there separately. However, it is 90% it is discussed as a separate subheading, limitation and recommendations. Okay? Recommendation, what you would like other researchers to do, which you were not able to do. Okay? So, how your study contributed mainly, implications, the practical implications. Practical implications means how your study can help the organizations, how your study can help the organizations to revisit their policies, to revisit their strategies. And theoretical implications, how your thesis or how your study can help or is contributing by new theory or by adding new variable to the existing literature. Okay, this is conclusion. Now coming back to the question, variable and independent variable. Dependent variable means, as the name suggests, the variable which is dependent on somebody. Now, since it is raining outside, okay, now I want to go out. My going out is dependent on when the rain will stop. I can only go out when the rain will stop. Rain has nothing to do. Rain is independent. But my going out is dependent on rain. Okay? So, dependent variable basically undergoes changes because of a change in independent variable. Independent variable does not change. Independent variable marks a change in dependent variable. Okay? All right. Let's move on further. Now, talking about conclusion chapter separately, because conclusion chapter comes out as a separate chapter in many universities. Now, when you talk about conclusion chapter, how you can actually draft a conclusion chapter? First is, this chapter also wants you to draft a separate introduction. You need to have an introduction in that. Okay, whatever things like I discussed this no with you all. This ones I'll show you again. This one's all this. Okay, so create an introduction with in this, then overall findings, what all you have in your study. Okay, then how your study is contributing, implications as we discussed. Then what are the limitations of your study? Time limitation, budget limitations, respondents were not responding in time, all these limitations, whatever you had, depending upon the uh, nature of your topic. Okay, then recommendations for future research, and then wrap up with a closing summary. Okay, you need to wrap up. Dr. V. Raghu Raman, right? Sir, I would request if I can answer the questions. I know that I'm sure that you must be a learned man, but I would request that because we are yet to start with the question and answer durations, we are yet to start with that. And I would request the participants also to wait for their questions to be answered till the presentation is going on. It would be difficult for me to focus on the questions alongside I'm presenting. And Dr. Raman, I'm really helpful. I'm really thankful that you are answering my questions on my behalf. But I would appreciate that if, yeah, please, if you'll allow me to answer the questions. Okay. Then comes future recommendations. See, future recommendations basically plays a very important role because um, every thesis, basically, every thesis is leaving some stone unturned, wherein you have some aspects wherein you would like others to work on them, right? You would like some variables to be focused by future researchers. You would like others to focus in on new locations. You would like others to focus on new variable, or you would like them to expand a new theory, or let's say you would like them to focus on some other country, right? All this can be a future recommendation depending upon the nature of your work you have. So this future recommendation also is very important, and you present your thesis while you present your thesis, don't forget to add this slide also, future recommendations. Basically, this helps you to elaborate the suggestions you would like to give others, and this section actually helps the future researchers on which they can pick up their research gaps. Okay? All right. All right. Now, coming to abstract. See, there was quite a bit confusion between abstract and other sections which were quite similar with this. Abstract basically, many a times with the, what do you call, conferences for journals also, where you want to send your papers, abstract has been asked, right? So basically, abstract is that component of your thesis wherein you write, as I stated earlier only, which you write in the onset of your thesis, when your thesis is starting, initial start, beginning. Okay, you set certain expectations with this abstract. Okay, you tend to tell what expected findings are there, what expected research problems were there in this abstract. Okay, so basically, don't take abstract as an introduction. Abstract gives an idea about the thesis. Abstract makes the reviewer capable enough to understand the thesis just by that paragraph. Okay, fine. This is a research problem. This would be the expected finding, and this is the research methodology. There will be glimpse of it, just the, because in 300 to 500 word, what else you will write, right? So just by reading that paragraph, the reviewer will get the idea. All right, this is the beauty of the abstract. So this is not just the introduction of your thesis, it is the snapshot of your entire thesis. Okay, now comes proposal. Now the question comes, why proposal comes in between when we are talking about thesis? Why it is important? Because when you are talking about thesis, so in, I think in all the universities, before writing a thesis, you have to submit a proposal. Either you have to present a proposal, or you have to write a proposal and then submit it and then present it. So proposal is very important, and basically it you write a proposal so that you gives an idea that this is what I'm going to work on, this is what has already happened, this is what is going to tell, this is what is going on, and this is which is my area of focus. Are you getting my point? So your research proposal gives an idea to the reviewer team, who is going to give you a nod that why your topic should given a nod to be worked upon. Okay? All right. So research proposal, basically it is a coherent summary of your proposed research. आप क्या करना चाहते हो, आपने क्या किया नहीं है वो नहीं, आप क्या करना चाहते हो उसका एक वन शॉट ग्लिम्स आपने दे दिया. ओके, एंड इफ दैट proposal is approved, then you are allowed to work on the proposed topic which you have proposed. All right. Okay. All right. Now this is what you can see, or I would, please don't get panicked if you are not able to see the screen. You will get the PPTs. Don't worry about it. You'll get all of this. So this is the tentative structure of a research proposal. Again, every university has different or probably unique structure of proposal. However, these are the common ones, okay, in which you have title page, you have abstract, introduction, research, literature review, research design, implication, reference, budget, everything. However, you may see that there are a couple of structural contents which are similar to thesis, right? So here I have seen that, I have also mentioned that what is to be added. So here in this template, you can see that instead of introduction, you need to write background. You need to write your research questions, your research methods, working plan, like how long you will take to complete your literature review, how long you will take to complete your research methodology, and so on. Okay. All right. So this is a tentative research proposal structure wherein every university can have a different what do you call as structure of research proposal. It may differ, and it does differ to university structure. All right. So this is again a template of a research proposal. Okay. All right. So these are some which I have listed down for you. Okay. Now comes to referencing. Now I'm taking you back to the thesis. Now, referencing is very important. Reason being to avoid the plagiarism. First and foremost rule. Reason, I would say that. Referencing is important so that you can avoid plagiarism. Like, plagiarism occurs when you copy the content from any particular source and does not cite it, does not put the source of it. Okay, that's why it is very important to put the reference in. And it also shows that how well you are reading it. Okay, there is a very interesting question. I couldn't resist myself to take it. Generally, we send proposal to start PhD, so why we are discussing it in thesis writing section? Exactly. If you are not eligible to write the proposal, and if your proposal is not accepted, then how will you write the thesis? So it is very important to be able to write a good proposal, then you will be able to write a good thesis. Okay. So coming back to referencing, so talking about proposal becomes very important when you're talking about thesis, because all of you or all amongst you are not the PhD scholars. Many of you are preparing for PhD also. So we need to take care of all the audiences. So coming back to referencing, so when you talk about referencing, it also reflects that how well your literature review was done, because where each and every source which you have referred, you will put the referencing, right? So that source which you will put in your reference, when you will showcase, it will showcase that how well you have referred the literature and how well detailed your source of knowledge is. All right. Now, why and when do I reference? Why do I reference? Because I need to avoid the plagiarism. Definitely. And every university, again, why I'm saying again every university, because every university have their own standards have their own rules and regulation to conduct and to organize the PhD thesis structure. So they have their own guidelines for that. So everyone of them has their own standard of avoiding plagiarism. They have their own standard of accepted level of plagiarism: 0%, 2%, 3%, 5%, maximum 10%, which I'm saying again is very high. 5 to 7% is something which is acceptable. Okay. Why we do referencing? You want to, maybe you want to give the sources from where you have obtained this particular source of knowledge to other. You want to tell them to others also. You want to inform others also that these are the sources where you get referred from. Okay, you want to support your interpretations, because anything, see, let me tell you one thing: anything which you write in your thesis will not be accepted, or will be taken as a statement only, or will be taken as an assumption only, if it is not supported by either referencing or by your own analysis. So referencing basically supports your data, supports your literature, whatever you have written. If it is backed by referencing, so it's gives a proof. Okay. All right. So how to reference effectively and consistently? So you can use different software. Systematic way you can do that. Date wise you can do that. There are different referencing our systems available. Harvard system, Chicago systems. You can, APA is available. So that depends upon that which way you have been asked to do your referencing. So you can't do that. I'll be doing in Harvard referencing style. No, if you have been asked to do in APA style, you need to do in that. And that is again are being given in the university thesis guidelines, that okay, this referencing will be done in the APA style or Harvard style. Okay. All right. So this was all from my side. Now we are open for the questions. So we are here for the questions now. See, if you are taking anything from any other source, any other documented source, you need to cite it, even if it's in results and discussion. If anything which your data, the data which you have collected and you have analyzed, you are discussing in your thesis, you need to cite it. Okay. But anything which you are taking it from any other source, you need to cite it. Sample methods, please. What is the correct reference? I am not getting the questions. Kindly elaborate. Please elaborate what you are saying. Is there any standard side of thesis in respect to? See, I've already answered this question, Mr. Subedi. This, in terms of number of pages and number of words, the guidelines have been provided by the university with which you are doing your PhD. They tells you the number of pages and the number of word counts should be there in your PhD thesis. Okay. See, Mr. Rohit, there are various tools depend in your research analysis. Depends upon what is your nature of a study. What are your research objectives? At what point we should start? Okay, this is Pritika. Once your literature review is done, see, there are different points actually. There are different points. People starts when their literature review is done. People starts when they are doing literature review side by side. They do they do it. Okay. No, no, it's absolutely fine, Dr. Raman. Absolutely fine. It's okay. We are from same territory. It's okay, fine. No problem. Mr. Nothing, I think Dr. Raman have very beautifully answered your questions. Yeah. References is based, see, citations when we are doing it. Somebody have asked the questions of citations. See, citation is The comment is deleted or what? I'll take this by this and this. Okay, so you're asking about bibliography and references. Okay, so basically, reference is a detailed work of the basically detailed list of references you have cited in your work. Okay, so some you can either both the list, both the things, reference list or bibliography that comes at the end. Both the things reflect of your work which you have cited in your thesis, right? Okay, now comes okay, let me take out the questions. Is it whether it's new, how to know about topic to choose, whether read the Harshita, read literature. This is the only way. Can you please provide example how to write background study and introduction? See, Akanksha, we on this particularly on introduction and background, we have already conducted a webinar, and you can write to research graduate. We can plan another one. And when we talk about how to write introduction and in background, for that you need to, like we discussed in the webinar also, you need to talk about your topic. In the background you talk about current status, what had happened in the past, and in introduction you give about the contextual analysis of your topic. Okay. Can you please explain statistical analysis? I need to explain about all rounder, whatever your name is. I need to explain about statistical analysis of what? Statistical analysis basically is that technique wherein by which you analyze your raw data and give it as a meaningful aspect. Okay, in which you apply various tools, methods, tests. Okay, I cited some references, silly shows in plagiarism. Yes, paraphrasing is the only option. Is research proposal compulsory before writing your thesis? Uh, um, Mr. Chizoba, basically it depends upon again if if your university demands your research proposal necessarily before writing your thesis and it needs to get approved, then only you can write your thesis. Yes, it is compulsory. Alzine, some bring the open opinion and consider it as a reference. What is a definition? You see, Ms. Alzine, there is a huge confusion in your spellings. Kindly rephrase your question. I am not able to understand your question. I have Pooja, I have explained, answered this question. Mudasir, if I'm doing a research on elementary students, it's necessary all reviews should be on elementary students. See, Mudasir, basically, you see, having a review of all the literature, if it's a vast topic, it's not possibly. But major review of major literature should be reviewed. Important literature should be reviewed. And if it's a topic where majority of the work and lot of work is already been done, you need to consider your topic, that because if it's already been lot of work done on that topic, you need to see that is it still scope available to work on that topic. Which section of the thesis should be written first? Yes, Vimlesh, this is a very important question, and basically I generally leave this question on the discretion of my scholars, to be very honest. All those students to whom I'm guiding in during in the PhD, I leave it on the discretion of them. What I suggest to them is that write the literature review parallelly. Structure we decided later, but I tell them to at least start writing about their literature review chapter parallelly. Introduction we write at last. So it completely depends upon which is the preferred style of writing of the research scholar. Is there any eligibility for writing review paper? On this also we have conducted a detailed webinar, Harshita. So if you want, you can get back to the recordings, and in that we have conducted a detailed analysis of how we can write a review paper. Puja, basically both the things they discuss about the list of the work we have cited in our thesis. Okay. Sumit, how to decide the sample size depends upon the nature of your research topic. If it's a qualitative study, your sample size can be small. Okay. For quantitative, your sample size is large. Again, your which tool you are using, that which is your research question, objective, all depends upon this. Okay. Can endnotes notes book be separately along with can endnotes books website be added separately along with journal papers? Where, Mr. Rakesh, where you want to add them? How to describe objective of the study? You don't describe objective of the study. Research objective of the study needs to be stated. These are the statements. These need to be stated. Okay. Vivek, is it important to write your thesis for research proposal? See, again, as I stated earlier, that if your university has a eligibility or has a guideline that you need to submit a proposal and get it approved before you start writing your thesis, you need to get it done. Again, depends upon your university status or university guideline. Amir, scopus and publication in which chapter? Scope and publications. Amir, publications or literature comes in literature review chapter. Okay, scope of research you can all discuss in introduction chapter. Ravi, in literature review, do we need study separately or you can go through already written paper? Literature review is done all the already written papers. Okay. Kenny, what is the difference between background of study and introduction? I discussed already. Background of the study categorically talked about the context and the dynamics and the nature of the topics. Ma'am, sir has deleted, so I couldn't read that. Sir has. Okay. Basically, research methodology is that approach which you are going to adopt in your study to achieve your research objectives. Okay. For data analysis, which software is uh, see, SPSS basically is a very student friendly software, Pratika. It gives you a very detailed analysis and a very student friendly software. That's maybe I am sounding biased towards SPSS. I find it very comfortable and very useful. Chandrakala, how many articles are to be reviewed in literature? Oh, ma'am, that depends upon completely depends upon your topic. If your topic has a very high scope of literature to be added, you may go up to 100 to 20, 50, and 200 articles even to be included in that. Synopsis and research proposal primarily falls into the same category, Pooja. We usually cite from secondary reference. Yes. Pooja, I've already explained. I mean, if I'm doing a research on animal, I have already answered this. How much do you charge for? Our team will answer this question. Literature review and survey have a lot of difference, Mr. Santosh. Survey is a tool of collecting the data. Literature review, I've already explained in the presentation. What about research hypothesis? Research hypothesis these are those assumptions which you assume about the relationship between the variables in research methodology. They need to be mentioned. How many review literature required for PhD? Afia, that depends upon, as I just answered, that depends upon your nature of your study. Couple of study, they may have vast review of literature, right? May you throw some lights on tits and bits of publication of paper? Which field, which area, where you want to publish? You need to elaborate. Pooja, I've answered already. Ma'am, kindly reason behind selecting mixed method approach for the study. Mixed method approach basically gives you a appropriate logic behind the justification. Basically, it gives you the quantitative. It's a combination of quantitative and qualitative both. So it gives you a proper logic. If you are choosing only qualitative, people don't accept it because it's not supporting by statistical analysis. So mixed method gives you a proper amalgamation of both. However, it is generally time consuming. That's why people don't go for it very often. Ms. Chandkala, ma'am, I have already answered this. Is the result section should we give interpretation and have a summary of findings separately? Results section, summary of findings, results and findings generally is one chapter. How to cite? Very good question. Cited by cite. I mean, kindly please answer how to cite. Citations, providing citations, there are different ways to do it. Okay. If I ask help from citation, does it mean that I'm less as a researcher? No, it does not mean that you are less as a researcher. Researcher and statistician, they are not similar. Okay. Could you please provide us TB? I could not. I see. I'm very bad in these abbreviations. Kindly elaborate. Ma'am, kindly explain about the steps of questionnaire design. We conducted this webinar, and we will. I would have loved to take this. This is a very elaborated answer. Basically, you need to see about your topic, and then there are certain steps. This there is already a webinar conducted. You might can refer to that, mm, which available recordings. Ideal, there is no particular definition of an ideal reference, Alzine. I need more details on the abstract based on the paragraph. What's needed in the first paragraph? No. You can see the sample, and there are no first, second, and third, fourth paragraph. Abstract is merely 300 to 500 words paragraph. There are no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraph, Mr. Chizoba, in abstract. In thesis, every chapter should include conclusion. Not every puja, not every research methodology might not have, but ideally is if you can give conclusion to every chapter, this will good. Is plagiarism checked during submission of research proposal synopsis? You may check. In review of literature, which one should come first, recent work or older work? I told you how you can arrange your literature review. You may refer back to the recordings. Can I buy from your company? You may please check to the team. Is plagiarism is now checked in research proposal? See, a certain level is allowed, but at what level you may have to check with your university. Do conclusion record? I already asked Pooja. Answered. Could you please provide us? Definitely, PPTs will be provided. Okay, you may, Miss Mansi, you can get in touch with the team for the title selection. How to state objective? Again, you need to first identify your research gap. Then only you can then move on to research problem, research questions. Then you come to research objectives. Okay. How many references are ideal depends upon, there is no particular number is where is what is ideal references number. PTPTs will be there. I am in the okay. Scopus publication. See, you need to see that which is your field. You need to then choose your journal which for which you need to go, Latha, and then you need to see the number of citation score of that journal, and then you need to approach that journal. For a review paper, at least 50, 60 PPTs would be given. PPTs would be definitely given. See, meta-analysis, for meta-analysis, you can have as minimum number of articles as 2. For systematic analysis review, you need to have more number of articles. Okay, PPTs would be given. References are given at the end of the thesis. Okay, not at the end of the chapter. Okay. Any other questions anybody is having? Okay, basically aims and objectives, they generally comes into like you write it as an aims and objectives. That's a common point. Okay, so you write it as statements. What do you want to achieve in your thesis? So research aim basically is a broad statement, and research objectives are more specific than your aim. So you narrow down from your aim, then you come to your objectives. If it's a new topic, then no studies have been done before. Please tell me how many reviews to be done. See, if it's altogether a new topic, then you yourself tell that how many reviews can be done. If it's altogether a new topic, it will be very hard for you to find the literature. I'm studying four parameters simultaneously. Based on that, should I write the chronological as I choose thematic option, then referencing or getting repeated? Yes, you may go for the this is chronological format. But again, refer to your supervisor also. Mr. Gaur Khan, my knowledge for Islamic and international humanitarian law would be little limited for suggesting you to the journals. Would be little limited. Jitendra, I have already conducted one on writing an effective research paper, but we can conduct it once more. See, Prisma flowchart we prepare when we are writing about systematic literature review. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ayushi, I have already answered. Basically, citation, we cite the source where we have, from where we have taken our work from or adapted the work from, or bibliography is all that list of that sources. You start with the recent work. I prefer that. Do we require to upload the research work? Depends upon your Mr. Reddy. Depends upon your university guideline. There is a Mr. Kishore. There is a huge difference between synopsis and thesis. Synopsis is a proposed approach towards your thesis. Yes, paraphrasing is the way to reduce your plagiarism. See, first of all, you need to review the literature for systematic review. Then you need to go on for the inclusion and the exclusion criteria. For then only you can go ahead with your systematic review. See, Mr. Mishra, you need to approach for a publication house. They can help you out better. And to convert a thesis into a book, you need to add on more chapters. Thank you so much. Thank you. You, I think my introduction would be better to answer Mr. Sridhar. Basically, I'm a management educationist and I'm based in Dubai. And I have an experience of teaching over 12 years of management students. So, Mr. Sridhar, I think you got my answer. What should be the acknowledgement part? Certain contain except the your family. You can acknowledge your supervisor. Please do so, else they feel bad. Your family, your spouse, anybody you would like to thankful. You would like to be thankful. Ma'am, please answer. How can we classify positive and negative items of a questionnaire? Positive and negative items means what? For where you are not getting the contract alpha significant. That's what you mean. Ayushi, please get in touch with the team for this answer. How could a systematic review suits to be a see? I think you can push. You can go for a systematic review, or see, they both systematic review and meta analysis. They both are related to each other. Paper writing shortly. Yes, we have already done that, and we can plan one in future. Definitely. Acknowledgement, you are acknowledging others. Dedicating comes from you. You are dedicating towards your work. Acknowledgement when you are thanking others. Paragraph, Archana. Literature review is a chapter. You can't do it in table. Thank you so much, Mr. Rakesh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. See, for all these questions, if you have registered, please get in touch for the with the team. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. For the PPTs and the recordings, please you need to get in touch with the PPT team. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Can I put my published paper topics work? You need to paraphrase, Amir. You need to paraphrase your own work, even if you want to acknowledge in your thesis. Thank you so much. It will be given. It will be given. PPTs and recordings will be given. Thank you. Harshita, you need to tell, you need to see which area you want to publish your work. Mr. Anand, literature of review uh, is a chapter in a thesis. You just can't just do it in a tabular form. It can be presented in a tabular form. However, just for it to be presented in a thesis, it just can't be presented in a table and just a chapter can be finished. No, it can't be do that. See, if you are not getting Cronbach alpha significant for the items in the questionnaire, that means these items are not suitable for that questionnaire. Nothing. I mean, whatsoever the name is. You can check the content validity, Mr. Chandrakala. You can check the content validity. You can check the Cronbach alpha. You can check that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Proposal need not to be included in the thesis. It needs to, it's a separate part. It needs to first get approved by the university. Then you start writing. Again, it's upon the university guidelines whether they want a proposal or not. Deciding a sample size, Mr. Satendra, depends upon the nature of your study. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. See, in a very nutshell, significance is something which you can accept, or non-significance which you can't. Thank you all. Thank you so much. There is no right time to see the entire research process is for your thesis writing only. I think you should start writing anytime. Don't wait for any right time. Start. The final documentation can be done at last, but start documenting. That's what I'd say. Shubhi Taneja, I have answered it to others also. When we talk about calculating sample size, it depends upon nature of your study. You're doing qualitative, you're doing quantitative. There are a couple of formulas for do that. Thank you so much, Dr. Raman. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. See, basically, G power calculator is to compute the statistical power analysis for your T test or your F test. So that can be done online similarly as your sample size. Both these things you can done with the effective online tools. Okay. See, Miss Seema, the format to write the thesis is being provided by your respective universities. You can't say that I can write on my own or I can suggest you one structure of the thesis and follow that. Every university have a structure of the format or of the thesis, okay, and follow that only. It will be given. Your the PPTs will be given. See, the questionnaire based study, if let's say, for example, if you are conducting a questionnaire and that questionnaire is closed ended study, again, for that, your objective needs to be seen. Let's say you need to calculate your sample size. Your population size needs to be known for that. Questionnaire preparation has a steps. It has a process. Your variable needs to be known. For descriptive studies, basically, see, again, these are the questions which have detailed answers for these questions. Yes, plagiarism is to be done at the end of the thesis only. Yes, plagiarism is to be done at the end only. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. And look forward to see you all in the next webinar. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, one more question. I'm doing PhD full time. I've spent 1 year working on synopsis and also off here in private university. Now can I do part-time? Again, this question is your university. I can't suggest. If your university can accommodate you as a part-time student, go ahead. Next webinar information will be emailed it to you. Okay? Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.